What's happening, everybody? This is Dealer back with another Modern Era G.I. Joe video, and it is with very mixed feelings that for this video we're going to be taking a look at what has been dubbed the Iron Grenadier Courier, codenamed Darklon. Now, before we even get started, I made a claim that I wasn't going to pick this figure up, but naturally, me being who I am, saw an opportunity to pick it up from the club store, and I did at slightly above MSRP. I think they had it listed at 40 or 44, I don't remember. At this point, I just, whatever, add to cart, check out, pay, don't look back. But yeah, so for this video, we're going to be taking a look at this guy. And again, it is with mixed feelings. And as we go through, some of that will kind of bubble up. And we'll take a look at all iterations of the character at the end of the video. So without further ado, let's just get down to business here. So for starters, here's what I'll say. The thing that I like most about this figure is the artwork. And I think for me, a lot of what I like stops there. I like the presentation of this figure, of the artwork. Not sure how that translates into the figure itself though. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is what he looks like carded. And I'm already not sure. But again, turning the card around, it's custom to what we're seeing. We get a full depiction of the character. Here is his file card. So there's that. And as is per the tradition, we're going to do some surgery on camera. So I have Old Faithful here, Old Trusty here. You can see the blade's kind of weathered, but that's okay. I'm confident that she'll help me weather this storm for better or worse. So in we go. That's what I like to do. I like to just force it in there. That's what she said, right? So coming around the bubble here. This appears to be going pretty good, actually. Better than most, I would say. So there's that. Oh, and I got underneath the card a little bit, but that is okay. I think for the most part, she's still preserved. So yeah, so for the most part there, a fairly well preserved card. Aside from a couple of minor scuffs there, but that is a-okay. Nothing to scoff at. So there's that. I'll just set that aside. Coming to Darklon himself. This is how he comes in the packaging. I'm already seeing some paint issues jumping out at me, and we'll cover all that. But yeah, that's how he comes. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get him unpackaged, geared up on the stand, and we'll be right back to talk shop. Alright, so here he is all geared up, and I don't know. We'll do things a little bit out of order this time. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to start this up, give y'all a full 360-degree view of this guy. Let him spin around a couple times so y'all can take that in, digest it, etc. Consume that. And there's that. So what we will talk about, set him off to the side here. First thing we'll look at, they did manage to cast his gun straight from the vintage sculpt. It's a 1-for-1, flat gray, whereas the old one was cast in a black, so it looks good. Maybe would have liked to see some paint on here, but nonetheless, I'm glad they finally gave him his gun in the updated version. Comes with the standard issue Mars briefcase that when you open it reveals the firearm that we've seen dozens of times with Destro. Noted, since they did not pin it, you will get stressing on the bottom. What I usually do with these is I usually put the gun in them and then I just set them off to the side to be used as diorama display pieces. He has his Grenadier sword cast in all black, no paint for the steel of the blade, which is kind of unfortunate. Has the sheath with the black chain, and this is your typical, you know, Iron Grenadier web gear. Also comes with, I want to say this is going to be a revolver. Yeah. Oops. So removable revolver that we've seen with the Range Viper and past Tonal Rat offerings. So I'm just going to go ahead and flip that up and leave that puppy in there. Save that guy for later. So overall, I guess it should be noted, comes with a stand, 2 peg. Getting into the figure itself, the use of parts here kind of baffles me. The head does look good. We'll give him that. All around, the head looks great. You have the Iron Grenadier shoulder bandolier thing, and then, like I said earlier, the sword, the Iron Grenadier, with the chain, sword sheath, etc. I want to say these arms are from the Zorana SDCC offering, but I could be wrong. It could be Xandar's arms, but they look quite dainty to me. And I don't know if that's showing through to you guys on the video. We do have some paint QC issues right there, but it's to be expected, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. He doesn't have the presence that I would want from this guy. To me, I've always envisioned Darklon as kind of like a bigger dude. And then, I don't know if this is just on mine, or maybe, looks good. Looks good. You have the red paint on the pants. You have the stripes as was with the vintage figure offering. You have, so instead of his like weird web gear type stuff that he had going on, they chose to give him the Destro Iron Grenadier lower legs and paint them like this orange color. And I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I don't know. I think from here down, the figure loses me. I don't think that I'm a fan. I don't know that I can get on board with this. But articulation-wise, you know, because they chose this, he does not have the double knee offering. It's just a single joint. And the paint, I mean, the paint does look good where it's applied and whatnot. And this figure does have a lot of paint. But the paint apps are fairly clean to remain objective. But I don't know that I can get on board with this, and we'll talk about that. We'll talk about why after we look at everything. But articulation-wise, figure articulates great. I do want to say that these are Xandar's arms, now that I'm thinking about it. But it just, like, how skinny it is here and how bulky it is here, I don't think this works, personally. It's my personal opinion. But yeah, I mean, the paint, whoopsie daisy right there. Anyway, with the paint, where it is applied good. You know, aside from a couple mishaps, the stripes look fairly clean. It's the one thing that I think captures the essence of the vintage figure. To the degree, I don't know, it's debatable, but you know, gold paint. Yeah. So what I'm going to do, I mean, I'm not going to spend too much more time on him talking through it. Complete reuse of parts, everything we've seen here. Head sculpt is from when they brought him back for the first show back in, what, 2013, I think, I want to say. But yeah, so we'll go ahead, get him geared up, take a look at him alongside of some of his counterparts, and talk final thoughts here in a sec. Alright, so first and foremost, there he is with his vintage counterpart, and you can kind of see the differences on what I'm talking about here. You know, he had this extra bit of detailing. He really didn't have shoulder pads. You know, he had the grenades, the dagger, the bullet pouches on his legs. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still baffled. You know, and I get comments all the time, well, you know, it's not supposed to be a 1-for-1 for the vintage. And I get that. Like, I totally get that. When I see a use of parts here, and they're trying to force something here, I don't know that I can get on board. I mean, heck, here even, you know, taking him off and bringing that on, I gotta say I'm more of a fan of this than I am this, by a long shot. By a long shot. And I mean, you know, for obvious reasons, you know, I think this presents better than this. I think this fits better together, a more complete package than this. I feel like something doesn't fit right here. So that's all I'm trying to say, you know, and especially when, you know, and then you have that, and you know, at that point, it's not even really close. You know what I mean? Not to toot my own horn. You know, shout outs to my wife. She did the stripes on him and whatnot. But, and you know, taking a step further, you even have that. You know, why, once again, you know, why, they could have easily used this torso and figured out the legs. Because to me, like, you know, look at this. Like, looking at this, to me, Darklon's always been kind of a bigger fellow. And this isn't even remotely close to that. This looks more in line with that, I think. And then just even, you know, bringing that back on. You know, I don't know. Do I recommend this figure? Well, I mean, if you're a completist, you're gonna get it regardless. I'm kind of having buyer's remorse. But you know, I'll figure that out on the boards and whatnot, because to be honest, he's probably gonna go. I don't know that I'm digging that. And I mean, that's as a fan, you know what I mean, guys? Like, dealer destro, right? So it's pretty obvious where my allegiances fall. I'm always going to appreciate or have an appreciation for these characters more so than others. So I guess, you know, I'm trying to remain objective here, but I can't, you know, telling me that that's what it is, you know, I'm just, I don't know that I can get behind that. I can get behind that for obvious reasons, but I don't know that I can get behind that. So, you know, take it for what it's worth. that's my 2 cents on the matter. Is he worth the MSRP the club's asking? I don't see it. And I mean, even looking at this, right? Like Iron Grenadier Courier, right? And then you have this vehicle driver, evader driver. This is more of a complete, I guess, package or whatever than this, even though this has more written on it, you know. I kind of feel this is a downgrade to Courier from, you know, vehicle driver. And I mean, heck, I guess while we're on the topic for discussion here, you know, I might as well just set this aside and let's talk there's that. Not one of my favorite vehicles by any means, but I do have it in the arsenal. And I guess the question is, does that look good? You know, sure, it does. He won't fit. None of them will fit. You know, but they, you know, I guess it looks good. You know, from a driver's standpoint, perhaps. But I don't know, boys. I don't know that I can't recommend that with a straight face, is what I'm trying to say. So just, you know, take it for what it's worth. Some of y'all might agree, some of y'all might disagree, but what we can certainly do is agree to disagree where that is applicable. So till next time, hope y'all take care. Catch you on the flip side for the next video. Go ahead and like and subscribe if you like what you're seeing, and appreciate you guys tuning in. Thanks a lot.